All right, go.
Yeah, 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it.
Yes, 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with a... I can't do it. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.
Do it! Just do it! Don't let your dreams yesterday set tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it!
All right, you're going back. You're going to standing. Okay. All right. Are you intimidating me? Because you're trying
Phone's it's about to die, so I had to...
All right. You know what? I got a standing desk too, Jace. I can stand up too. You think you're cool? Think I can't do a stream
Let's
standing
go.
up, Jace?
Hey, what's going on? It's your man Julito McCullum from HBO's The Wire. Some people say it's the greatest TV show ever, but you are watching Fireside Chats with the homie Big Chief Burrito.
Hi, I'm Nick Mangold, 7-time Pro Bowler, and you are listening to Fireside Chats with Big Chief Burrito.
I appreciate your time, brother. Thank you very much for coming on the show today. The best of luck.
Fireside Chats.
What is up, everybody? It is your boy Lou Martinez, aka Big Chief Burrito, live with you on a Sunday. This is a hybrid birthday stream of the 2 a.m. Burrito podcast, as well as the Mi Gente show
Yeah,
with Sofia, as always.
that is me. Hello. Happy birthday, Lou.
Thank you very much. It is, after all, the eve of my 45th birthday. Thank you for stopping by, Malcolm Johns. Thank you, sir. Happy birthday, Big Lutez. We've been off for a while
Yeah. Been too
here
long.
on Fireside Chat / Mi Gente show / 2 a.m. Burrito podcast. The Mi Gente show and Fireside Chats with Big Chief Burrito, all part of the 2 a.m.
All of
Burrito
the
pod.
things.
All of the things are part of the 2 a.m. Burrito podcast and the 2 a.m. Burrito brand. So I said, hey, why don't we just do a little catch-up stream?
Yeah.
Thank you for everybody that tunes in live, everybody that's listening to this Monday morning, which is my actual 45th birthday. But we're going with, I think the practical lie is like 37.
There you go. Yeah.
Maybe,
Don't look
maybe.
a day over 25 to me.
I still act 27, so that's good.
Yeah,
Right. Anyway.
You do.
So hi, Sophia.
Hi, Lou. How are you? Did you miss me?
Absolutely.
Missed you.
Continuously.
Yeah.
And we're gonna hang out a little bit tomorrow for my actual birthday, but we did want to do a stream, catch up on all the. I mean, if there was a time to not be streaming and podcasting and a reaction podcast, it was not. It was not the time that we took off because our
We
last our
a
last
lot
stream.
happened.
Our last stream and the last thing that we recorded was a preview of the
The
Oscars.
Oscar. Yeah, I know.
And somehow we did not predict what the Oscars would be
Yeah,
remembered for this year.
yeah,
Yeah, it was kind of it was, and then we'll do a quick breakdown, just sort of like to recap what our emotions were going through it. But
yeah,
there's it happening live.
yeah. We
Then
watched it
there's
live, first of all.
Yeah, we watched it live, and then there's and then you were watching it a little bit behind because you had let it sit for a little bit so you could fast forward
Yeah.
the commercials. You were doing the streaming thing,
Hmm.
um, and and I knew you were watching it live, and I was texting you like, "Hey, fast, whatever you do, just you need to fast forward because there's some shit happening." So there's the denial part that comes when you're like, "Wait, what the fuck did we just watch?"
Yeah, I think I texted you, and I was like, "Wait, that was a bit,
No, I
right?"
I texted you because you were watching behind me, and
Oh, okay.
I was just like, wait, as I was anticipating I was gonna get a text from you, like, wait a minute, but I was just like, hey, there's something that about to happen. You need to, and you're like, oh my god, I'm catching up, I'm fast forwarding, and then you were like, wait a minute,
Yeah,
that was a bit,
thought it was a
that
bit.
was
I was
that was
like,
a bit. It's like, because that was first thing people thought was like, is that a bit? And sadly, no, it was not a bit. It turns out being one of the best bits of all time. But
yeah.
what was your thought process when it was happening live?
Um, my first instinct was, oh, it's probably a bit, but then if you were watching it live, it like cut out, and then you just saw, yeah, it cut out, it went black, and then when it came back, it was like Will just cussing up a storm, and you could clearly say what he was, read his lips, what he was saying, and
Mhm.
I was like, oh, it's not a bit. This is live. This is live TV. So that was real.
This
This
is happening.
this yeah, this is happening. The slap, you could hear it, like it was audible. So I'm just like,
Yeah,
"Uh,"
'cause
and yeah, and so I don't know if I called you at some point, I think, and
yeah,
then we were
somehow
just
we
like,
had
what
a
the
talk.
yeah, I was like, what the fuck is happening? Because I didn't know anyone else that was watching it live, except you. So I was like, what the fuck? And then Twitter got on it really quickly. Um,
Yeah, that was the next part because there's the reaction,
mhm,
there's the live reaction, and the reason it's I think it's just like, hey, it was like, man, like part of me was like, I can't believe we don't have a podcast this week
mhm.
because we were on break, the festival was going to start, and you were on a
Traveling. Yeah.
traveling through a syrup tour or poutine
Yes.
tour,
Syrup tour.
greater northern United States.
Oh yeah.
Um, in Canada. But yeah, at the same time, it was very interesting that it became an issue where immediately everybody started taking sides. Like anytime something like that happens, um, there's the reaction, then there's the reaction, then there's the reaction to the reaction, and then
Mhm.
comes the analysis, and then
Yeah.
there's the overreaction. For example, I think Judd Apatow was like, he could have killed him, and it
Okay.
was like he should be
Well,
tried. He should be tried for attempted murder.
Judd
Um,
Apatow said that?
no, but he did say he could have killed him. He did.
Oh,
So there's the overreaction.
right.
Then there's the secondary reaction, which was the immediate reaction. Well, he shouldn't, you shouldn't. And then here, I don't know. What was funny to me is how the different political sides sort of flip flop back and forth into what,
Yeah.
because it was like if you were a comedian,
Mhm.
you were standing up for Chris Rock.
Of course.
If you were I don't know, if you were left wing, if you were woke allegedly or something like that. What were you? You were like, oh my god, I can't believe he didn't get arrested.
Mhm.
Then if you then it was like, okay, well then Black Twitter had a whole thing which was like, well, you don't
Mhm.
come at Black women like that,
Yeah,
and
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 he was just
and
standing up for her,
yeah,
and yeah.
right. So and then it was like, wait a minute, and then it went so far to the point where it was now they've gotten to like, well, this is an example of toxic femininity,
Yeah.
and And then it was like, no, well, maybe that's Will's kink. Maybe he's got an embarrassment kink, and he wants to be
Yeah.
cucked by his wife.
And then it
And
was
it's
like deep dive into his book. Did you hear that as well? That it was like, oh well, he felt so bad. It's a trauma response from his childhood because like he felt
he
so bad
was
that he
he
couldn't defend his mom when she was being beaten by his father, stuff like that. And it just got everywhere. It
so
went
much
everywhere.
stuff. Yeah, that he
Mm.
used to throw up after he came because he used to bang
Yeah,
so many chicks.
yeah, that one too.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I call a good problem to have. What are you talking about
No.
here? I got this problem. When I bust a nut, I throw up. It's like, well, fuck. Keep a garbage can next to the bed. What do you fucking want
There
me
you
to tell
go.
you? You're a
Oh
fucking movie
God.
star.
I didn't hear that one. What the hell?
No, I
That
guess
took
it
a
was
turn.
because it's yeah, I don't know. Then there was videos of her putting him on live without his permission.
Hmm.
Um, and is he in an abusive relationship? Like, man, the
Hmm.
analysis was just analysis. So even though I was for a while, I was like, man, it sucks that we didn't get a chance to come on the next day and give our immediate analysis. I think there was so much analysis going on that we would have just gotten lost in like the thousand other podcasts that like broke it down from like the next day because the story kept changing first it was every
Yeah.
hour, then it was every day something different come out until now it's like it's finally calmed down with him agreeing to leave. And my main thoughts throughout the process was number one, um, why they let him stay there after the
Hmm.
fact. And then
Yeah.
the story came out that they asked him to leave and he said no. And they took that. They're like, okay, we'd like you to leave now.
Hmm.
No.
No.
Well, all
Yeah.
right. Then
And he won the
uh,
Oscar.
he wins the Oscar. They
Yeah.
let him they let him sit there. And then the people that came up after that were clearly uncomfortable with him being, because it wasn't just like he was in the audience. He was in the
Hmm.
first seats. He was in literally like the stage was here, and then there was a couple of love, like 10 love seats right there, and he was
Yeah.
there. He was in the front
Yeah.
friggin' row.
Yeah.
So and then the people were just like doing their speeches and they're like, oh my god, he's right there. Is he gonna
Mm.
so and then he gives a speech. He never apologizes to Chris. Then the whole thing, everybody starts choosing sides. I
Mhm.
don't even know what side people landed on, but it was like if you were pro comedians, you were this. If you were pro women, you had to side with her. But then you could. It was like leftists and wokeists were like trying to figure out what to do because you had to either be like violence
Yeah.
is bad
Yeah.
or you can't make jokes about alopecia.
Yeah. It
So
was
it was
I feel like it split everybody because even in the left, it's like, yeah, you're either gonna go with the woke narrative, or you're also gonna go with anti-violence, which is kind of where I landed on most of the time. Yeah, what was your take
well, I think
after
it's
all
funny
of this
because
analysis? What was
well, I
your
think it
take?
was funny. It was the right wing mostly who are mostly the ones that want to defend the comedian's right to do whatever they want
Hmm.
had to sort of defend Chris Rock because they were like more like they want to defend Dave, they want to defend all these comedians to be able to do what they
Yeah.
want, Bill Burr. So I think they were sort of forced. uh Malcolm says woke don't believe in whooping ass. No, I think they did. I think honestly, like the loudest part from that was the you can't make fun of somebody, and then that goes into the whole comedian thing. My thought exactly on it was it something wrong? Was it something uncalled for? Yes, but
Mhm.
people in this world have free will, so to speak. So if you are gonna make a joke, there's free speech, but there's no zero consequence to your speech. So if you can
Mhm.
definitely go out there and make the jokes that you want, be funny, but you just happen to catch a billionaire movie star sitting in the front row, who's had a troubled relationship with his wife in the public for the last 3 years, and they've made
Mhm.
fun of their open relationship, made fun of this, and it was just he was laughing first, then he saw her, and then he's
Mhm.
like, I guess I got to do something, and you could tell that he was super emotional. Afterwards, he
Yeah.
was like trembling. He was like, "Get out your mouth." It was just,
Mhm.
it was very it was very like it was almost like he went from Prince Will to Prince Simp in a sense, because he sort of simped a little bit with the whole "I'm gonna go beat somebody,"
Yeah.
so. So I thought that the only issue that I had no issue with him making the joke, and I had no issue with Will deciding that he had had enough of the jokes and he was gonna make his point. I don't have a problem with either of the things. If you wanna, I have red lines that if you cross that line, it was like the whole. You remember Back to the Future, right? You're frozen in the funniest way with your eyelids right now. It's so hilarious. Let me print this screen in case you don't come back. Sophia's. Well, what I was saying, and we'll see if Sophia comes back, is everybody remembers Back to the Future. And Marty McFly and all the McFlys had a trigger word, I guess you could call it. And that trigger word was chicken. So whenever you would call or you want somebody, one of the McFlys to do something for you or a dare, et cetera, you would let's remove her for a second. Oh, let's look at those eyelids. Okay, she's back. She'll be back in a second. Um, but if you said chicken to Marty McFly, then it was on. It was on and cracking. He was going to come back at you in a specific way. Like he was going to do what it is that you told him not to do. Are you chicken? And he'd be like, no, I'm not chicken. I'll do it. So I think that they had the Sophia's Wi-Fi is down, so she'll come back in a second. They had the perfect storm of situation, which is a comedian making a joke, da 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 da, and I like what I'm trying to figure out is everybody has their red line. For example, my family, my father, my significant others, certain topics that are precious or dear to me. If you come at those topics, depending on the mind frame that I'm in at my time, I might react in a more violent way than I would for a million other topics. For my self example, there's certain things I don't like to be called. Growing up, things that I realized meant something more than than the physical words. So you might be able to call me 18 different cuss words. Call me a motherfucker, call me an asshole, call me a douchebag. But if you call me one of the other things that I don't like, then I'm going to tell you take that back because I don't really like being called that. Hello, hello.
Hi.
Hey. No, sorry. That's right.
Difficulties.
No, no. I was just making the reference to Back to the Future, where Marty McFly's trigger word was chicken. Like if you called him chicken, then he would like take the dare. You know what I mean? Like, what are you, chicken? And then he'd be like, I'm not chicken.
Yeah.
So I was comparing that to everybody's got their red lines. Like I have topics, I have things that I don't like being called. That if somebody says it, even if they're joking, I have to clarify. That's not really something that I like to be called, and I don't think I'm that type of thing. So you need to take that back. And everybody's got those topics. So I think that I'm for the side of making sure that comedians get to say whatever they want. People hopefully not being so sensitive, but also realizing that if you do get out of line and you do it in a situation, and somebody's got the wherewithal and the clout, they can come up and punk you at any time.
Yeah.
My issue was with them allowing him then to stay there.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And then the whole overreaction afterwards, for example, people were saying once you pick the side, then Twitter came for you. Like, for example, Zoe Kravitz, who tweeted a picture of her dress and said, I guess we're assaulting people on stage now. And Black Twitter came after her like hard, but like, what the fuck are you talking about? You used to try to fuck his kid and then like because
God. People.
and then they're like, oh, so it was just one of these seminal moments that you had to sort of pick a side, right?
Yeah, yeah. I agree and I disagree. So I think that I don't know, something about the violence just didn't sit well with me. I think that you're right that he is allowed to have a response. There's also things and things that would offend me and I would want to slap the shit out of somebody, right? Um But I do get a little worried about about the precedent that it would send. Now we're
About Joe
allowing
Biden?
people. These are unprecedented times. No, but I feel like it does like, it is kind of a bit of a slippery slope in the sense that now people can just slap comedians if they say something that they don't like. There's a roast element to the Oscars. You kind of know you're going to get shit on to a certain extent. I just feel like if it hurts you, you had all the right to react the way that you did. However, that doesn't mean that it's right. And I don't think that it's helpful. And I think that with someone as much power as he did, the way that Jada reacted just by rolling her eyes and being upset, that's already more than enough. I feel like you could have also, use your words. You can use your words, kids. You can say on Twitter maybe, or maybe tell him later, hey, that wasn't fucking cool. I don't like that. Or
Yeah.
you do something, but like jump from there was a joke and then to violence and then he didn't get kicked out. It was just, to me, that leap was like, it was just too much. It was like such a leap. There's other steps that you could have done before that, which is just like literally talk to him, talk shit online. Like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. You have millions of fans. Like, I'm not saying to like, use them, but you
Yeah.
don't have to fucking slap the guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think it's justified. I think I understand because there's people that I would slap, but I'm not saying that that's right. And I feel for Chris Rock more on for sure because he was just doing like his job.
He was doing his job and he was a comedian and it wasn't that bad of a joke
Yeah.
and I'm definitely but then the aftermath of the aftermath was, he says I resigned from the it's the cover up
Mhm.
because then the academy was like, well, we wanted him to leave but this and that, and then everybody's saying what happened. End result, he gets they don't take his Oscar away.
Mhm.
And that brings up the next part, which is the academy taking a moral stance against violence. And then the backlash, even though the people were like, well, it's okay, he shouldn't get to do this, they're like, but you don't get to take away his Oscar. You don't get to take away Will's
Mhm.
Oscar when you gave Roman Polanski, somebody who was accused, who raped a 13-year-old,
Mhm.
and then fled to France so he wouldn't get prosecuted, and you don't get to send, and you sent, well, who did he send? They sent, the same, like, they sent like Han Solo. They sent somebody there. They sent
Yeah.
somebody to France with his Oscar to give him his Oscar. They gave him a standing ovation. The Pianist was an incredible movie, but you don't get
Yeah.
to say Will Smith doesn't gets his Oscar taken away, and
Yeah,
then you
exactly.
have the moral ground. So at the end, he gets banned from 10 years of Oscars. He resigns from
Mhm.
the Academy. He keeps his Oscar.
Yeah.
Mm, and good for him because I didn't think that
And
the movie was all
he
that.
he can also get nominated. He just can't attend, but he can get nominated in the future.
Yeah,
So,
and that's fine because the Oscars have no moral ground
no.
to tell. Because then you go down the rabbit hole, and they booed a Native American woman who went up there to accept Marlon Brando's
Marlon
Oscar.
Brando's, yeah.
Yeah, like like they wanted to beat her up on stage because she said
Yeah.
you treating, and like Woody Harrelson, all these people, the monster that is
Harvey Weinstein.
Weinstein,
Yeah.
like all this shit. So absolutely, Hollywood doesn't have a more high ground. But anyway, it was weird that we weren't around to cover it.
I
Uh,
know. Terrible timing.
it
I
was terrible. Go ahead.
I feel like I am a little glad though in the sense that like now we can kind of like retrospectively review it and get all these takes and opinions because they were really coming out like one a day. And yeah. Has Jada commented?
No, she did.
No,
She
huh?
dropped the new. I guess she dropped the new episode of the thing.
Red tabletop?
Yeah, Red Tabletop. But she
Okay.
basically said this is a time for healing,
Ah,
they weren't going to talk to her. Dangerous to start justifying physical assault for verbal assault situations. Extreme
mm-hmm.
escalations may cause bad situations and tragedies throughout history. Absolutely. Thanks for
I
stopping by,
ag-
Malcolm.
I agree,
Again,
Malcolm. Totally agree.
look, I completely agree that violence is not the answer, and that's what we're teaching people. But if we're talking about a real world, real words have consequences, and it depends on when and who you're saying to, and what it
That
is
is
that
true.
triggers them. And
That
for
is
Will,
true.
at that point, whether it was his embarrassment kink, whether he likes being a cuck, whether he loves being in an open relationship, whether, all that stuff leads to him reacting the way that he did in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm not saying it's not wrong, but I'm saying is I understand.
Yeah.
As Chris Rock once made that same joke about OJ killing Nicole. He said, "I'm not saying he did should have done it. I'm just saying I understand." Um, but
Fuck.
yeah.
Fuck.
Um, but that being said, that was the big thing that happened. The other major story that I think that I sort of had tabbed a little bit was the entire controversy about the Penn State swimmer. Transgender issues have been like a hot button issue because the right keeps putting it out there as like a culture war thing.
Yeah.
Um, and I am still digesting and learning about the facts about transgender athletes in sports.
Hmm.
So my perspective on the whole thing was you have somebody who is, I think it was like the 45th, or they were coming in the 30s and the 40s, when they were competing as a male.
Hmm.
They started doing very well when they started competing as a female, and my take on transgender sports in like lower levels of school has been sort of changed by the fact that I think that a lot of the kids that are part of the teams
Hmm.
don't care. So I think it's
Yeah.
a fact of that, right? So, well, at first I was sort of like on the Joe Rogan train, which is like you can't have somebody from a physical standpoint who lived their entire life as a man with testosterone into their 20s or whatever, then say I'm a woman, start taking hormone therapy, transition to being a woman, and take hormone therapy, and then get in the ring and fight with other women.
Hmm.
There's something that seems wrong about it on the surface, even though there's all this research that we're learning about where it's like once you start transitioning and then the
Yeah.
levels of testosterone and then
They
blah blah
go.
blah, and
Yeah.
then there's all these think pieces about, well, the reason that there's men and women competition was actually because in something like archery, shooting, other types of more competitions that are not 100% physical, more skill based, women were destroying men, and so they separate classes in those sort of sports and other things. Then there's Title IX, the sports stuff. So it's a weird area because I think it's topical and something that's out there in terms of to react to. Then the only part of that story that so then that was it's always been my thought. If the kids don't care, why
Hmm.
should I care? And if the research is coming out that it doesn't really make that much of a difference physically, then I'm not really too worried about it. In my
Hmm.
mind, as somebody who grew up when I grew up and how I grew up, I still think that I would want people to wait until, because I remember if I made life altering decisions about myself when I was like 9, 10, 11, I would have made some stupid choices, you
Yeah.
know? So my
Same.
thought process, my personal feeling on it is that I would want anybody that feels that they are transgender or something like that, to wait as long as possible to start any sort of hormones, because I don't know how I don't know how I understand that it's about being your authentic self,
Hmm.
and that for somebody like me who's always felt like myself, I might not understand that or get that.
Yeah.
I know enough to know that I don't know enough, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yes.
But I still go back to that, right?
Yeah.
So then the story comes out about the swimmer, and the only thing that was weird to me about it was that that well, they're like, okay, well, she still dates women, okay,
Hmm.
she still has her male genitalia, okay,
Okay.
and the other swimmers in her group and stuff were uncomfortable about having to change and be around her
Okay.
because she still has a dick and
Um,
she dates women.
okay.
so so
So
I
he's
don't
not
know.
fully transitioned yet.
Yeah, so I don't know, is the solution like prove it? Like, all right, you want to be in a competition, you want all the privilege, not the privilege, you want all that comes along with being a woman, then
Yeah.
you know
Yeah. Go full throttle with it.
because if you go through with it, then I
Yeah.
believe you 100%. That's like Chappelle said, that is some gangster shit to do. I'm gonna cut my dick off. That to
Well,
me is incredible.
how old is she? And does it say that she is in the midst of transitioning, or is she gonna
But you don't
keep
have
her
to. You can
genitalia?
you can keep your genitalia if you want, right? You can do whatever you want with your body.
Yeah.
You can say, I'm a
Yeah.
woman, I'm a swimmer. I still like to fuck chicks with my penis,
Yeah.
but I wanna swim because but I'm a woman. I'm a woman. This is what I do.
Yeah.
So if we're all gonna agree with that,
Yeah.
Like I said, my not having a problem with it is learning more about the actual science of it, which is fucking tremendous, and that usually
Yeah.
younger kids don't give a fuck. They're like, yeah, he was Joey, now he's Joanne. He plays basketball with us. It's okay. She plays bad. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
then there's the entire, like your old homegirl, uh,
Who?
rolling JK,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, my ex
um,
bestie. I know.
your ex bestie.
Oh
And then
yikes!
there's all this stuff that's out
With
there
the mug.
from like from like there's a lot of lesbians and there's a lot of gays that are against it too,
Hmm.
because they're looking at somebody like Ellen Page and they're like, well, why'd you have to, cut your tits off? Why couldn't you just be a butch, just be a butch lesbian? So that was
Yeah.
my other question, which is always, does everybody that is everybody that feels they're gay actually transgender? Obviously that's an ignorant question, because there's obviously a gradient and stuff like that, but you do get a feeling that the transgender movement at some point either impedes or just sort of clashes a little bit with gay and lesbian, because gay and lesbian is all about being comfortable with being a man but being feminine, or being a woman that loves other women but wants to be feminine,
Yeah. Isn't that weird? That's a
that
little.
wants to be
Yeah.
masculine.
Yeah, it's complicated. I think for me it comes down to everyone's personal situation, especially when it comes to body dysmorphia. So if you're trans and you feel okay with the genitalia of a typical male, and you want to keep your penis, but you want to also, go on estrogen and all of that stuff, but like kind of transition, but not really. That really depends on the person. If you want to go full transition, um, I think Ellen Page is like actually going on T and like fully transitioning, right? Like um
Elliot.
Elliot Page. Sorry about that. Um yeah,
And they're
so
transitioning his character.
yeah, yeah. So wait, what character?
He's on a TV show, something or other, and
Is he?
the character is also going to transition.
I didn't know he was on a TV show. What?
Yeah, it's I don't know. Somebody might
Yeah.
know what the name of it is, but I don't remember.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, that's that somebody can be so open-minded when it comes to sexuality and gender expression, but
The
then when it
Umbrella
comes
Academy.
to the umbrella, that's what it is. You're right. Yeah, yeah. I haven't watched it. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't watch TV shows, guys. I just finished Euphoria. So,
Mhm.
yeah. Okay.
How good was that?
Uh oh, so fucking good. Oh my god. I did not think I would like it this well. It's like you were right. You were like, I like it. And yeah,
Yeah, it's intense. No, but
so
go ahead,
good.
finish your thought.
Yeah, no, basically, I don't know, man. It's one of those things where I know where I stand and I guess where there's controversy, but I also kind of don't. Like, why do people have such trouble I guess empathizing with people who are trans as opposed to sexuality, as opposed to gender expression? Like, I don't know. I just kind of don't get it. I would love to talk to people who are transphobic just to see where it comes from, because I hear a lot of different arguments, especially the biological part for when it comes to sports. And I can see where there's that worry because, like, you want people who are going to be sort of in the same level of also ability, which is why boxers, you fucking separate them by weight class and stuff like that. So yeah, that's something that I definitely worry about. But then the more that I find is like when people go on hormone therapy, eventually your levels go to the same as like who your opponents would be. So I would say that if you have passed that threshold, I feel like it's fine.
Yeah, your
Um,
levels do, but the only
you
thing that I
maintain.
think that, yeah, if you, for example, I'll give you an example. Like
Mm-hmm.
also, right? Also is a German Shepherd. I always have my dogs fixed,
Mm-hmm.
but German Shepherds also have a issue because they've been inbred so long that they develop hip problems and stuff later on in their age.
Mm,
So the vet's recommendation was, if you're going to get him fixed, wait until he's a year and a half old,
mm-hmm.
because having balls and the doggy testosterone will help him grow stronger than if you cut his balls off normally, where I would at 4 or 5 months.
Mm,
So they
gotcha.
said, don't. let him grow a little bit longer with his balls before you cut them off. That's going to help him grow up healthier, his bones stronger, etc.
So
I
you're
don't know if it's
saying
true.
so you're saying the
So I
longer that somebody is male, then they transition, they are maintaining uh
I think so. I mean,
mhm,
from a purely unscientific, just layman's perspective, which we is what we do.
mhm.
You
That's
know,
us. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like I don't know shit about this. I know
No,
enough.
we
I
love to
know
make it very clear we don't know anything. We know that we don't know everything. So
we
yeah, we're just
don't
here
even know. So
spitballing.
this is just from a reactionary standpoint, reacting to what's happening in the world. Is I want to learn more. I do have a couple of people that have said they know some transgender people that might be open to
Mhm,
coming on and talking to us or talking to me, and to get a little bit of a more understanding. But from you can see how people in the different parts of the country that might not take the time to learn and do research would be like, well, the article literally says a member of the university has claimed that teammates are uncomfortable changing in the locker room in transgender swimmer Leah Thomas's presence. Thomas has reportedly said that she dates women is definitely awkward because Leah still has male body parts and is still attracted to women, the swimmer said. So if I'm going by the kids are not worried about it, but then I'm like, okay, at the college level, she's making other women uncomfortable.
mhm,
And if you saw how they stood on the podium, she stood to one side with her gold medal, and then the other girls stood off to the side,
mhm.
second, third place with like their own thing. So it brings up a lot of things like sports related, like friggin' because what about women that want to get scholarships? What
Mhm.
about competition, endorsements, stuff like that? It is such a
Yeah.
huge, huge thing. The one thing is that it affects a really small percentage. So the topic gets brought up in sort of a culture war thing. People have to choose sides, etc. I don't have a side. I
Yeah.
just I just ask the ignorant questions and I try to learn more. And where I'm sitting now, it's like I understand. I'm not bothered by it. I do have a lot of questions about people that want to that want to they're making laws. If you help your kid transition, you're committing abuse. In
Mhm.
other places, they're like, if you don't help your kid transition, they can do it without your consent. Like
Mm.
it's fuck it. It's there's so much shit going on, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I will said about the teammates feeling uncomfortable in the locker room, like that's a little shitty. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that a group of girls can just say like, "Oh, I'm uncomfortable." Because they are still sexually attracted to like it's one of those things where like when I came out, like I was very worried about this. Thankfully, my friends are awesome. But you do get that a lot, right? Of like, oh, do you want to fuck me? Like, oh, now
Yeah.
I feel uncomfortable around you. And it's like, no, bitch, you're not all that. Like, calm the fuck down. So it does come out in that, it sounds like that. It sounds a little petty. Like if the concerns were she actually has harassed us. She
Right.
has tried something in the locker room, like I fear for my safety. That's very different than I feel uncomfortable changing in front of her because she
Yeah.
actually likes
Yeah.
girls. It's like,
And
okay,
not
Becky, calm down.
and that's a good point here. Somebody said
Mhm.
it's a non-contact sport. As far as athletics, when I studied martial arts, the boys sparred with the girls when we were preteens up to 12. Once we turned 15, 16, we separated groups due to puberty. Swimming is non-contact. I don't understand what the problem is with you. That's valid. I
Yeah,
mean, that's
that's
why I was
really
saying
valid.
I've read a ton of articles and threads where they were like, here's a thread about all these different sports, like literally like archery, all these other things where it was like
Yeah.
women crush. And the reason that there's male and female is because the women were doing too good. But then there's other stuff like
Yeah.
wrestling and shit like that. I don't know. I don't know if the answer is just combine all, shit. Women want to play football. They want to play hockey. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. What is the so I think it's weird. I think it's weird that people that normally you think would be allies to something like lesbian, or like entrenched,
All of a sudden turn.
like established old school lesbians
Hmm.
or like
Yeah.
old school gays, and they're like, well, why can't you
Oh,
just be happy being a gay? Why can't you
Oh,
just be happy
we
being a
can't get
butch?
along, man. There's so much
Yeah.
going on. Yeah, there's like even within the community, like I talk about this all the time, biphobia versus like gays and lesbians. And then there's like the new wave Gen Zers who are pansexual, sapiosexual, like all these new titles, and all the old gays are like, no, triggered. The fuck are you doing?
Like
Yeah.
we fought for
So
just basic rights, and all of a sudden
because
you're
you're
trying to
taking
do,
it to an extreme. Yeah.
and then
So
like you're still battling for bi visibility, right?
yeah.
As that's still something that's
But
not
then
super.
But then pansexual came out, and it's one of those things that where that now that's a conversation. It's like, is bisexuality trans exclusive versus is pansexuality something that should be like more widely used? Blah blah blah. We can get into that some other time. But yeah, there's a lot of infighting
Yeah, then
for
there's
sure.
men. There's then they want to change it to say, well, when a woman, you can't say when a woman is breastfeeding, when a person is breastfeeding, because men can breastfeed
Yeah.
too. And it's like, okay, all right,
Like, all right.
okay,
Yeah.
all right. How many more one-offs do we have to add to things to be like, you can't say this because actually, well, all right, fine, I guess, like it doesn't bother me as much as it bothers other people, but I
Yeah.
understand why it does, and I understand. And but the good thing is that nothing that somebody over 40 thinks matters because it's all about the next generation. Nobody cares what I
Exactly.
think eventually.
Exactly.
Exactly. Like it's just it'll figure itself out. People
Hmm.
will continue to,
Yeah. We're progressing. We're in a transitional period when it comes to, very new trans issues and stuff like that. Sadly, right? But like it's barely coming to the forefront in the last what, like 2 decades, something like that.
yeah,
So I mean, I feel like we're all getting used to stuff. We're all changing. We all just need to be open to change and listen to each other, you guys. Let's all be friends here. Come on.
let's all be friends. Yeah, like I said, I don't know enough to know enough. I don't know, like, so I am open to having people coming on and talk to me about it because I do want to know, like, does people that live their entire lives as gay, if
Hmm.
they were coming out today, would they still come out as gay, or do they think that now transgender is more of an option? Like where people like hardcore staunch lesbians from the 60s, 70s, 80s,
Hmm.
like Martina Navratilova, one of the best poker players, staunch
Hmm.
lesbian. If this was a movement now, would she all of a sudden say, "Oh, I'm going to become a male tennis player"? Like I don't. It,
Hmm.
it would, that's kind of the part that confuses me the most. Um, so like I said, but it was another hot topic. Hot
Yeah.
topic.
Yeah. Hot topic.
Hot topic. Hot topic. What did you
I love
have?
that story. I didn't prepare anything because it
Mhm.
was a birthday pod, so I just wanted to say happy birthday.
Thank you.
But have you seen the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trials?
I have been sort of periodically checking in on the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp
Yeah.
trial.
This Friday, I accidentally tuned in like live and I watched the whole thing and man was it
Wow.
interesting. Yeah. I just had it on the background, as I was cooking. I was just like, no fucking way. Yeah, I miss court. I actually enjoyed being a juror. So
Really?
yeah, yeah. It's a fun experience. It's just like chisme. Me encanta el chisme, güey. Things where I
Yeah.
just get in. I'm like, oh no way. It's fun. It's
She did what?
she did
Oh, like
what?
passing judgment. That's all fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there was a supercut I shared. Let me see if I can find it. Which was let me see, we'll play that. Give us a good reaction to here it is. Okay.
So she, you
The prosecutor. Yeah. Oh, so good.
pretty heavily. Were you there?
No, this is Amber's lawyer.
Yeah.
Mr. Depp, with respect, trying to respect the court's time and the jury's time, that was not my question. My question was simply, you would agree, you would agree, you would agree.
He's so sassy. I was enjoying watching it.
Let's pull up Exhibit 500. That's Exhibit 500. Like the sequel I lied to. Sometimes drink whiskey in the mornings too, right? Isn't happy hour anytime. Can't say
I want to see the throat one.
Looks like it would fit some. I once gave Marilyn Manson a pill so that he stopped talking. So did I read that right? You did.
You did. I love this. Did I read that right?
You did. Okay. Did I read that right? Yes, you did. Did I read that right?
No.
You continue to do them. And right after you cut your finger off, or right after, I won't give you anything to argue with me yet. Right after you sustain an injury to your finger, right after you sustain an injury to your finger, you poured yourself a mega pint of red wine. A mega pint.
A megabyte. He's like, yeah.
We're going to fast forward in time a little bit, Mr. Depp. I have other uses for your throat.
Yeah, that would
Include,
say it again.
I have other uses for your throat which do not include injury.
Sorry, could you read that again?
Oh my god. I saw that one in real time. Sorry, can you read that again? That was so good. And then there was one part where he called, what was it? He called Amber a lesbian camp counselor as like an offensive term. And they proceeded to spend like 10 minutes debating whether saying that in 2013 it was or something like that is like offensive or is it not. It was so stupid. It's now my favorite like derogatory term. I'm gonna call you a lesbian camp counselor.
Well, so this comes back to the whole topic, which is a little bit of what was happening with the Jada and Will thing, is the concept of toxic femininity, which obviously does exist. Like, you know, I've been in abusive relationships from the other standpoint, from a mental perspective, right? So I know. You know, okay, so here's a question for you. What is the female equivalent of the male term? Because we have a term about avoiding psychotic women, which is don't stick your dick in crazy. What is the
scientific? I love it.
Scientifically, words to live by in something that has been passed down from male generation to male generation. You know, it's fun, but you stick your dick in crazy, you're gonna end up in a bad sister.
So dumb.
I'm gonna get
what
to
is
your
your question.
No, okay. Well, here, I'm sorry, I saw a comment come in, and I was gonna. Wait, we're talking about Amber Heard.
Because I'm also very interested to know what your definition of toxic femininity is, because that's a term you just said. I don't believe exists, but okay, continue.
Interesting. Well, I guess what I was trying to say was Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, right? So toxic femininity, whether it exists or not, we'll get into that. But I have always been just kind of weirded out by how many women just throw themselves to hate Amber Heard, as if they're making her like the pariah, the symbol for toxic femininity, right? So it's like a counterbalance to the toxic masculinity sort of thing, right? Okay, so they're like, because I don't know whether you think it would go, if there's toxicity by both sexes, whether it's like 70% more male, 30, you know what I mean? I think it's pretty even, honestly. But then I was always wondering why so many people just were jumping on, because my whole thought process was like, she's ruining his career and she's doing this, and I was like, Johnny Depp's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp's got fucking like five fucking pirate movies money. He's got FU money, and he was on the fucking set of the Rum Diaries. Amber Heard was a fucking smoke show at that time when she was coming out, and he's like, shit, I'm fucking Johnny Depp, I'm gonna marry this chick. She turns out to be crazy. Don't stick your dick in crazy. Definitely don't marry crazy. And he went through it. He had some fucking tough moments, man, but overwhelmingly Johnny Depp's life has been fucking awesome. You know, he's been acting forever. He's boozing it up. He's saying it's happy hour sometimes. Maybe he likes to indulge. He's still here. He's still with us. He's still gonna get laid tomorrow. Anytime he can walk into any fucking bar USA and get laid.
And he's gonna get pity laid. That'll be great.
you can get all kinds of laid. Nothing. So that was my whole thing. Is like, there's plenty of dudes that get fucked over by chicks that
Yeah.
lie on them. Just it's nowhere near the amount where the actual dude is an actual piece of shit. Like I know that. I
Yeah.
know that, but it does happen. So I just thought it was. I just think it's weird that it's that they chose her, and like, how dare you go fuck over all these other short kings and fat boys and regular dudes out here
But
and nice
not
guys,
Johnny.
but not Johnny Depp,
Yeah.
Amber Heard. So, I think she was expecting that she would be like, I'll just tell my story, girl boss it, I'm the victim, blah, blah, blah.
Hmm.
And then now they're like, whoa, she could have been the one that broke up Jason Momoa's marriage and all this other bullshit.
Hmm.
So yeah, so that's kind of where I'm like, why is she such a lightning rod? I mean, yeah, she's a piece of shit from what we're looking at, or from the alleged things. I think that if you were saying who's at fault in that relationship, I'd probably say it's 70-80% her, 20-25% him.
Yeah.
He was probably drunk and abusive at some point as well.
Yeah. There's plenty of that. Yeah.
But why do women are so many women just like staunch defenders and haters of her in this situation?
Um, it depends because it's going to be a case by case basis, obviously. But one, I do think that there's like a certain group of people that are just stands, like he can do no wrong. And says that I literally cannot touch the top. She will jump on me. She'll be like, no, he's fuck her. She'll get aggressive. So I just can't even talk about it with her. I think that that's just like Johnny Depp fandoms. But if we're gonna
Okay.
talk about like actually why maybe someone who is less biased would jump on Amber Heard, I don't know. Maybe it would have with the fact, there has been compelling evidence to say that she was also very abusive. Um, so I think that because in the beginning, I remember at first it was like believe all women, it was very much like believe Amber, he was abusive, blah 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 blah, and that was like years ago. And then I remember, I don't know if it was videos or voice recordings that came out from Johnny's side that it shifted, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, like he's being abused, he's a victim here, maybe we jumped on defend all women a little too harshly. And then you just see people turning, and now she's like a full villain, right? So I don't know how much of that would be, women hating on women versus just being a Johnny Stan versus, I don't know, maybe other people who have also experienced some sort of trauma and seeing that she has clearly been abusive. But I totally agree that like it concerns me a little bit to the point where I think you're right that I don't know if it's like 70-20 blah blah blah, but I think you're right that for the most part she is mainly at fault, but it's both of them, man. I
Yeah.
watched like hours of this court case, and it
Wow.
was disturbing, the text between them and seeing just their relationship unfold. Like they have this text thread where they literally were like, "You will be the death of me." It's like, yeah, like if you're in love, like it's always like it was just them romanticizing their toxicity after they have had like a bat, like they just fought. And then that's when the throat thing was read because she was like, I don't know, they said something about the throat, whatever. But it was just interesting to see their relationship unfold. They're just very
Then
toxic,
Jared
flawed human
Leto and
beings.
Elon Musk was in there. Like,
Yeah, it's like I don't know. They're crazy. I don't know, and I just think that both of them are crazy. I think he's crazy as well. I think he's a drug addict and has issues, and also was abusive towards her. I just think he met his match, and she was just as abusive towards him.
yeah, like I said,
So, yeah.
don't stick your dick in crazy.
And I think he's crazy too, though. I think they're
But like I
both
said,
just
so
unstable.
is there a female sort of saying that's sort of similar to that, where another woman might say to another woman, "Hey, don't ride the crazy pole" or something like that? but
Um,
but like, or or for
Men are
or for
trash. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, men are
Like
trash.
men are
Watch
trash.
out, that guy might fucking murder
That's
you.
it.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like more
He's a fuck boy. I don't know.
you have yeah, no, you guys have higher stakes like
Yeah,
than
yeah. It
us.
was like we could die. So
Yeah, like one out of 25 women that I've dated or talked to, or
mhm.
maybe 5 to 10% of women that I've sort of tried to involve myself were just like nuts, and sometimes you stick your dick in crazy, and then
Yeah.
you fucking end up like, hey, well, shit, it was fun, and now I have to extricate myself from this situation because
Yeah.
this broad is crazy. So it happens.
Broad.
This
I love when
broad
you
is
say
crazy.
broad. It's so East Coast. Yo, the broad. The East Coast comes out when you say broad. Oh man.
For women, they say don't date a thug. Well, okay, I guess.
Okay.
All right. To answer your previous question, just because you tuned in, GDZ forever. Just to go back to transgender, how did you feel about the news story where a transgender person got 2 female? I think I saw something about that, but I don't know if it was real or not. Was that debunked? It was like a weird picture of uh, like a masculine looking female prisoner. That's another that I don't
I haven't heard of
honestly
that
I
one.
don't know enough about that to answer that. I do feel that I mean they kind of talked about it on that was one of the stories on Orange is the New Black, right? They had the transgender female in the prison.
Spoilers. Oh wait, no.
You haven't watched Orange is the New Black?
I stopped watching after. I mean, no, I know there's a transgender, but I don't know that does
Isn't
she
that like
still have male
mandatory?
genitalia?
Like
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
And
I don't know that they got that deep. I don't know.
I'm just saying, if you want to be taken seriously, wait, take the plunge. Is what I'm saying.
Oh my
Take
god.
you
Do
gotta
with
take
your
the
body what you will. Don't listen to him.
yeah, I'm just kidding. I'm just saying you don't think it's real? You don't believe me? Shaka chaka. I mean,
Jack.
it answers a lot of questions. I'm just obviously
Poor
these are
awesome man. You're gonna do that to awesome.
maybe. I don't know.
No, no, you should. You should. Take him to doggy
I,
parks, get him fixed. Why not?
yeah, no, I've always fixed my dogs. And German Shepherds are like one of the most. I mean, yeah, you go to the pound, there's nothing but pit bulls, chihuahuas, German shepherds. You know,
Mhm.
there's a lot of there's a lot of extra one of those, and stuff like that. No, so yeah, so right. Don't think you're thinking crazy. It's weird that all these relationships are crazy. It's weird that she went from him to Elon Musk, and her lawyer was so fucking weird. That was it. All right, so let's do a couple of other bits here,
Okay.
as I'm a little rusty on my situation here. But
Yeah.
let's do a. Let's do should I buy this?
Oh my god.
You know
Pride
I
hat. What?
No, I like my custom hats, right?
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
have like all these hats from this company that's like the Clink Crew, and
Uh-huh.
this is one that just recently got posted. Um, but it's a cool lion hat, right? It's got the
Yeah.
lion. It's a fitted, but it also has the Pride logo. It's got the
Yeah.
Pride colors in it.
You
You
should
know,
buy it.
so
It's,
not a
ex-
bad hat, right?
it's expensive as hell though. But yeah, you should buy it.
These, yeah, these are expensive, and the problem
Yeah.
is that they got fucked over during the supply chain times,
Uh-huh.
and it takes like I'm still waiting on hats that I ordered last year. So I have two hats
Oh
that I
my
bought that I
god.
already paid for over a
Uh-huh.
year ago that I haven't gotten yet. And
Whoa.
they keep offering us discounts and stuff like that, but it's a company that does. I've showed them before. They do different customized, not just regular hats. And I wear a lot of fitted hats, but like, look, this one's got a weed leaf.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
is
that's really cool.
they do like different designs, different stuff, and they put up the designs for vote, and then they create the ones, and then they ship them. But it's a long process. But at the end of the day, you get a like an original hat, a hat that they only made a few thousand of or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
for people that are fans of the fitted hat like myself, it's pretty cool. And then I saw
Nice.
the Pride one, and I was like, that's pretty cool.
It's really cool. I really like
That's that's pretty prideful.
it. I
It's
also
you get it. It's a double pride.
You get it. You get it. Yeah. I like the
If
one
I,
next to it. I like the El Muertito
this
with
one,
the
oh
yeah.
yeah, that's pretty
I
cool too.
love the colors.
Yeah. You want to see the ones that I'm still waiting on?
Yeah.
I'm waiting on. Let me see if I can find
Oh, I
them.
thought it was all of them. I was like, holy shit.
No, I'm waiting for a bunch. I'm waiting
Do
for
do they
one
sell
similar.
baseball caps or are they
Yeah,
all
these are all
the
these are all
square?
baseball cap. These are
No,
all
they're
baseball cap.
not. No, those are like the squared ones. I'm talking about the baseball caps, like the
Like what?
what are they called?
These are the
Like the dad hats.
Oh, you mean like a trucker hat?
No, not a trucker hat. Just like what's it called? Like instead of the thing being straight, it's like, you know.
Yeah, you know how you do that? You go like this.
Oh, it moves.
It starts off like this when you get them, and then you put it on and you go like this, and then that's how you get
I
the curve.
mean, yeah, but there's certain hats that already start off like that because I've had some that are just
Well,
like
these
that
are the good.
squared and they
The
don't
reason that I
move.
like it is that these are the same hats, the same exact hats that they make like Padres hats or Mets hats. These are the
Yeah.
same exact fitted baseball caps.
Ah,
Fitted baseball caps are usually 35, $50.
mm,
These are more expensive. The banana hammock.
yeah.
Yeah.
Banana hammock. I'm dead. Sounds cool.
Um. Yeah. So yeah. So maybe I'll order that one and it'll be here in time for next year
For next
for.
Pride.
All right. One of the things that I wanted to go over as I do yet another transition is the 2 a.m. Burrito Patreon page is up now.
Hey.
Hey, 2 a.m. Burrito is creating movies, podcasts, and live streams. That includes the 2 a.m. Burrito podcast, Fireside Chats with Big Chief Burrito, as well as the Mi Gente show with Sofia Carrillo. And if you want to be a part of the 2 a.m. Burrito brand and help with ongoing projects, you can go to patreon.com/2am Burrito and you can pick the different levels where you can be a part of it, including the $5 Burrito Club per month, which gives you access to the 2am Burrito feed, exclusive BTS pictures, and merch drops. We're going to be dropping some new merch, some new stickers. As you can see right here in the top right, we have a new logo that's coming. That's a prototype for it. We're going to have new posters for upcoming projects, classic posters, mugs, the whole thing. So if you, let's say, sign up for the $5 or $20 or $50 per month Patreon, you'll accumulate dollars that go through the merch, and the merch will kick in at certain dollar amounts. So even if you're on the $5, but the merch kicks in at 30, after 6 months, you'll get that. It's something like that. I'm still learning Patreon, and I'll be updating it. But the reason that I am updating this now is because, and one of the things that as we get to my 45th birthday here, Sophia. One of the things that I do want to mention is that one of the things that I do want to mention is that um, you know the reason I started doing podcasts and stuff again was because we were during a pandemic and I really couldn't talk to people or do anything. And this is my outlet creatively. We've done 68 episodes of the Fireside Chats or Twin Burrito podcast. We've done about a half dozen with you, and I am going to keep doing content and thing. But and I did edit some movies. We finished Ladron. I got into the festival. I was part of the festival this year.
Mhm.
But I also was part of the curated for the festival, which I talked about. But I am a filmmaker,
Yeah.
and as much as I love podcasting, as much as I love talking to people, as much as I love curating film festivals and being a part of the festival and teaching and coaching and doing all the things that I do, the thing I love the most is making movies. So the Patreon is one way that you can help me continue to do that. We will be launching an official crowdfunding crowd equity campaign for the next two films that we'll be doing, which will be Alien Story 2, The Mother Planet, which is a sci fi comedy, as well as Tall Can Activation, which is a drama written by Brian. I will probably do one short before that, just to sort of kick the rust off the tires a little bit, get a crew together, do something really, like a 5-10 minute something
Mhm.
before I do the feature. But we will be doing a crowdfunding campaign and crowd equity campaign. What that means is that not only will you be able to donate to our campaign by giving us money and then getting merch, you will also be able to donate to our campaign, and if we once we do something with the film, be able to be part of the producers group that gets a little on the back end. Um, so, I have made, two feature films. I've made a dozen short films, and all of them for very little budgets. And I don't think there's any reason to believe that I can't make another feature, two features. now that things are normalizing a little bit, and basically it's time to make the donuts. It's time to get back to work. So the Patreon will be live. We'll be promoting that throughout the podcast so that people can get in the mix for as little as $5. You can join the Burrito Club, become a Patreon, as much as 50, as much as 100. If anybody else wants to be a bigger donor and wants to help us produce a movie, we are providing crowd equity, which means not only do you get the merch associated with crowdfunding, but you also get a piece of the film once we sell it to whoever. I don't know,
Yeah.
Amazon, Hulu, Netflix.
Yeah. Of course.
There'll probably be some sort of bidding war type
Yeah.
situation.
Well,
So
gonna
that's
be
how we'll
rough.
get to that. So basically that's my change. I participated in the film festival this year as a curator. We got great
Yeah.
reviews. Got to hang out with a lot of filmmakers. Got to
How'd it
see.
go?
It was incredible. It was a lot of fun. It was my first year behind the getting to see how the sausage is made, or if you want to Wizard of Oz, getting to see behind the curtain.
And the curtain.
I had great reviews. I had 2 comedy showcases and 3 feature films that showed. People said that the comedy showcases were some of their favorite parts of the festival. We had some
Oh.
sold out screenings. We had some not so great attended screenings, but for the most part, I think I did a good job my first year as a curator. I do want to come back and do it again next year. I did have a lot of fun meeting filmmakers. We will have some of them as guests in coming weeks. So I will try to get you some of the films that I saw via link so that you can be prepared for them.
Oh yes, please.
But it really just made me realize that it's time for my next one. And I think it's time. I think that I should be able. I mean, here's the thing: if this movie's going to get made, whether we raise $10,000, $20,000, or $50,000, or $2, I'll
Mhm.
make it somehow. But what I want is to be able to pay everybody and get the best out of it, and make it something that we can all be proud of, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So that's kind of my next goal, and it's not a goal until you say it out loud or write it down on a piece of paper,
Are
Sophia.
you manifesting? Are you putting it out into the universe?
It's out there. I've
Liz
also been putting
Martini.
out. It's also been putting out there that I'm going to be the first person to win a World Series of Poker bracelet as well as an Oscar.
Yes, I'm getting an Oscar as well.
And so we got a lot of stuff to do.
Yes.
So again, if you guys want to donate anything for watching the pod, go to Venmo or Cash App and do Big Chief Burrito. And if you want to be part of the Patreon account, go to patreon.com/2mburrito. And that'll be what we're promoting here moving forward, because 2M Burrito is creating all kinds of shit, podcasts like this one, all kinds of good stuff. All right, so I'll knock out some more. I'll knock out some more tabs here, and then we'll wrap this up.
Alrighty.
Because
What are the tabs?
Let's get to the tabs. All right, hold on a second. All right.
The little dog goes to sleep.
Dog's asleep. Right.
Yeah, it was her birthday. She's 14 now.
Nice.
I know she old.
All right, so there's the 2M Burrito feed. Boom. All right, what do you have? Okay, this is cool. I love reading these.
Okay.
Because it's 35. It's like 35 married with children moments that would be banned today, and then
Love it.
you read them and they're just like so ridiculously worded. Like there was one in the bottom. It was where was I at? But where was it? If there's one thing that we remember with children is how much the male characters express their hatred towards women, especially their wives. Yeah. Blah blah blah. And then it's like they refuse to let anyone who control his life, as it's an ultimate goal women have in life today. That wouldn't go over quite as well. So it's just very weird when I see these, because it's like they understand what they're doing because they're doing it, but they also have to write it in a way that where they're like surprised. Like, would ogling their teenage daughter be okay in this day and age?
Oh God, yeah.
Because obviously, if you remember, it's like, oh, there was a whole. I remember this. They followed her around, threw stuff on the floor. No, this wasn't Kelly. This was just another chick in a supermarket. And they would just ask her. They would just throw stuff on the ground to make her bend over, and the whole time. And so it was like, like they normalize violence. Did you miss me with every bullet so far? And it's like, could you really tell that to your wife this day and age?
Oh my God.
So They made fun of depression,
Well,
blah blah
yeah, most
blah.
of the show, I think that was also the point of the show. It was controversial for its time as well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, at the time, it was. You know what? At the time, it was on Fox. It was
Mhm.
one of the first Fox hits. So where CBS, NBC, and whatever were doing more traditional sitcom, Married with Children was like pushing the envelope
Yeah,
because they had
exactly.
the hot chicks and the live audience.
Yeah.
Look, okay, Bud can't wear a dress. And
Oh
then
my
he's like,
god.
because at one point he said, as long as you don't wear a dress. This line would come off as hurtful today towards people in the LGBT. Duh.
Uh, guys, come on. Come on.
So the article says these are 35 things that wouldn't go today, and it because it seems like, yeah, we're understanding. But then the way it's written, does that make sense? It's written in a way where it's like, and and
Yeah.
really, is his masculinity so fragile that wearing a dress would make him less of a
Oh,
man? Like,
no.
you can say the thing where it's like, here's 35 things that wouldn't fly today, and then you can make fun of it, like, haha.
Yeah, there's a
A-
funnier way of delivering it as opposed
A-
to just, like, delivering it like, "I'm butthurt."
Al would never be allowed to tell Bud that he can't wear a dress today, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Instead of like they're saying it, but they're saying it in the Bud hurt way.
Yeah.
So this is just something. What is this one? Insulting each other. I don't know. Sending the wrong. I wanted to. Whatever.
Who
Anyway,
wrote this? Where is this? What page?
this is from foodisinthehouse.com. I have no fucking clue. I was just one of those things that you click on,
Oh,
and
okay.
then you get, because you see one that's funny, and then they don't show you that one till the last one. Okay, this is another interesting one. Woke Arizona. Okay, this was a funny one. There was Arizona hired a school in Arizona hired a DJ, right? Hired this guy to DJ a party, right?
Mhm.
They posted some pictures online, and then the diversity person from the school try to get everybody canceled because they said that this guy was wearing blackface, but he was just a black guy.
Is he actually black though? Yeah. Okay.
So
Uh,
so they hire him to be DJ at a party. He shows up because it's like a theme. He shows up dressed like this. They release some pictures, and then they're like, "Oh my God, how could you have a DJ in blackface?" And then he was like,
like,
"What? I'm not black enough."
there's not much he could do about his natural face.
So this was the diversity advocate for the school.
Okay.
And this is an example of people looking for things to get offended by,
Mhm.
because I think there's like the thing where like you can always look at things two different ways, and there's people that are actively looking to be upset about things.
Yeah.
Because I mean, right? Like, even if you thought, hey, is that guy in blackface? You'd look into it a little bit deeper before you immediately
Yeah.
started going crazy about it, right?
Yeah. It's the immediate reactionary type of woke left or like alt right that are, yeah. They always
Yeah,
make it
yeah.
something out of
Both
nothing.
both ends of the bird are insane.
Yeah.
Okay. The Will Smith, we already talked about this. Roman Polanski, that we're not going to do this to a black man. It's soon back to they're trying to take. So people were mad at him. They were like, the violence thing, the stuff like this, blah blah. But then they're like, you cannot take his Oscar, because then everybody rallied around him
Mhm.
afterwards, because they're like, no, you know what? Yes, he did it wrong. He did this, but you're not going to take his Oscar because you motherfuckers, first of all, didn't let black people play black people in movies for a long time, and
Yeah.
second of all, you have a bunch of dirty motherfuckers that you've already given awards to, which I
Yeah.
totally agree about. I'm totally behind the you can punish him, but you can't take his fucking Oscar away, because if you do, you're gonna have to do a whole bunch of other fucking house cleaning. He
Yeah.
won the award for what he did up until that point. He didn't.
Mhm.
You can't take it because he did a bad thing. You already punished him for the bad thing he did, which is not really a punishment. He's an old
Yeah.
dude. Why the fuck does he want to go? He can still go to the after parties. He just can't go to the event.
Yeah, I was like, if anything, that's great. He doesn't have to sit through the fucking like 4 hour show. He could just go to the
All right.
after party, still get nominated, still win.
All right. So
Whatever.
this is something that you can show your dog to show her that she's not doing shit.
Kenny, today we've got two options for you, but you can only choose one. So we've got a treat or we've got some food. Which one would you like? Treat? Kenny,
What
you
the
know how to do sentences. Show me again. Kenny's one. Can you want treat, baby?
Oh, so smart. What the fuck? What?
So you can shame your dogs with that video. See,
Oh,
Kenny knows how to fucking.
my dogs are idiots.
Yeah.
You're a fucking idiot, Cora.
All
Damn.
right. Texas governor dumps first busload of migrants. And so the Texas governor drove a bunch of migrants from the Texas border and dumped them in Washington, D.C. in front of like a news station so they could do a political stunt, which is one more reason that I hate fucking
What the fuck?
Republicans because
Yeah.
they're fucking heartless. Texas governor carries his pledge to transport illegal immigrants to Washington, D.C. The bus pulled up right in front of the business that houses Fox News. So that he could do it basically for a political spectacle. Look at me, I'm
Oh
so
my
tough.
god.
I sent a bus of immigrants to Washington, D.C., basically screaming up, I am a piece of shit. I am a piece of shit. Anyway, one of the things that sort of caught my attention as I breezed through these, let me see, where's it at? Let's just go through them. Okay. Oh, sorry. This is just one of the things that I might do a crowdfunding on. It's called Support Our Stories. And it's kind of alternative to GoFundMe.
Very
And
cool.
it's based probably on Latinx stories. So,
Oh, that's so
uh,
cool. Nice.
all right. We already saw the banana hammock hat.
Yeah.
Zoe Kravitz we talked about.
Yeah.
This was something that came out. They
The fuck?
What is the 5 fingers? Say to the face. What?
Oh no. Oh no.
like I don't know. That is some deep fake shit right there. That is some
Yeah.
well done deep fake.
Wait, that is a deep fake. Holy shit. I thought it was an actual skit.
That was the skit. That is the skit from the Chappelle show with where that's a very classic Chappelle show bit, but
Yeah,
they
but
put Will and Chris's rocks over where Chappelle and Charlie Murphy plays
yeah.
Charlie.
What the fuck?
Uh,
No, I actually thought that was Will Smith.
I'll send you the link so you can
Wow,
see it.
that
Okay.
was deepfakes
Uh,
are scary. Deepfakes scare the shit out of me.
Yeah, this is 1973 Native American actor Sasheen Littlefeather booed, almost assaulted by John Wayne just because she was trying to, and then Clint Eastwood famously talked to a chair on stage at the Republican National Convention.
Fuck Clint Eastwood.
This one's an interesting one. This happened. Look at that dunk. Boing.
Oh, okay.
Look at that dunk on that guy.
Booty pop that. That was wow. This is
So
why I love baseball,
the
really.
ball didn't stand a chance.
I
Man.
know.
Yeah. Mr.
I
Murphy
love
can get it
baseball.
apparently from the ball.
Yes. Oh yes.
Jim Carrey says he's probably retiring. What's your favorite Jim Carrey movie if he retires?
My favorite Jim Carrey. I really love what's that Dick and Jane one? I forget
Fun with Dick and Jane.
Yeah, Fun with Dick and Jane. There you go. I don't know why. It's just. I mean, I love like in the classics, like The Mask and the Liar one.
Liar, liar.
Liar, liar. Yeah, but I don't know why. It's something about Fun with Dick and Jane. I just fucking love it. It's so rewatchable.
That's another
What
thing
about
about. I think Pet Detective is probably my favorite, although the fact that the whole bit at the end was the spoiler alert if you haven't seen the Ace Ventura Pet Detective that came out in 1991.
I haven't.
Oh, okay. You haven't seen Ace Ventura Pet Detective?
No, were you gonna spoil it right now?
I was gonna spoil it now. I'm not gonna spoil it.
Okay. So I should
Well,
watch it. All right, I'll watch it.
You should watch it, and then afterwards look up the problem with Ace Ventura Pet Detective.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. So it's one of those that will they really make that? One of my favorite follows on Twitter is Jay the Chow. He photoshops Paddington Bear into a movie or TV show until he
Oh my
forgets.
god.
And
Can I just say, yeah, like Lupita Nyong'o's fucking reaction was just the best. It was the best part of this whole situation.
Yeah, her just was. Wait,
Her just
is this real?
awkwardly, yeah.
Well, this dude, shout out at Jay the Chow. He photoshops Paddington Bear into different movies
Oh.
every day. So he just puts out pictures It's from the
Aw,
Northland.
that's nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's like
there's there's Paddington Bear inside the Queen's Gambit.
I love it. I love when there's random shit like that. There's this Instagram page called The Same Picture of Michael Cera Every Day.
Yeah,
And
there's one for what's his face, the stoner guy as well.
yeah?
It's
Oh,
it's
there
a
you go.
picture of it's a guy that tweets out the same picture of Seth Rogen without a shirt on every day.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, so shit like that. And I'm just like, wow, this bit has been going for like a decade now.
I love internet. Yeah, like there's Paddington on Hot Ones. There's him
Love it.
in Star Wars. Yeah,
Little
there's
bits like that.
him in Better Call Saul, etc. All right, here you go. The Truman Show. The Truman Show. The Truman Show
I
is like
also haven't seen The Truman Show. I know. I will. Okay. Ace Ventura, The Truman Show. I'm adding that to my watch list.
the Truman
Well,
Show. All right.
you know what movie I watched recently and I fucking loved it. My uncle kept badgering me to watch it. Scent of a Woman.
Hoorah!
Hoorah!
That that
So
is
good.
that
So
is
good.
that is the exact point where Al Pacino
Yep.
became a caricature of himself.
Mm.
That is the exact it's a dividing point between his career, his early career, then his main career, Godfather, all the fucking great stuff. Heat,
Mhm.
Scent of a Woman, and then everything afterwards is sort of like Pacino playing Pacino, in my opinion.
You think so? Didn't he win an Oscar for that one though?
Yeah, that was the
Yeah.
one.
It was
So,
amazing acting. Holy shit. Yeah, I loved it. I loved it.
yeah. That's definitely good.
Toilet
Pete in an incredible bathroom last night. This is bathroom goals right here. I want to be able to
Who
have
whose bathroom is that? Whose Oscars are those? That's Meryl
those.
Streep. That's
Those are
Meryl.
those are Emmys, is that right? Right?
Oh, they're Emmys? I don't fucking know.
Are
Yeah,
those
they are
Emmys?
Emmys. You're right. I
Those are
think there
Emmys.
are
Yeah.
Emmys. Yeah.
Emmy toilet holders is like the best thing. That's like the biggest flex on planet Earth.
That is so
I,
cool.
I think that's a
Who
big
says
flex.
that? That can't be real. There's no way.
What's this? This is just a Trump meme a Trump meme that I thought was funny.
That's so dumb.
Is it? Yeah.
Putin looks great.
Okay, this is something a little bit more serious, I guess, just because I had a couple. Obviously, one of the last things we talked about was the war, and it's been fucking horrible and ravishing, and
Yeah.
it's still like going on, which is fucking
Mhm.
horrible. Today at the San Ysidro port of entry, I watched as MX and U.S. authorities allowed 26 Ukrainian asylum seekers to enter the U.S. and turned away a Mexican family who'd been waiting alongside them, saying they couldn't seek asylum because of Title 42 and would have to wait. This is something we touched on a little bit before we went away, which was it's great that people, countries are opening their arms to refugees. However, it's just really interesting that they're the paler sort of,
Yeah.
the paler ones. And right here at the border, Mexican family wants asylum. 26, Europeans come right in. Obviously, it's not the time or the place to be like, we don't want Ukrainian refugees. You can't say that, right?
Yeah.
Because they're the ones being affected, just like the same. It's like Black Lives Matter. Ukrainian lives matter at this point because they're literally being shelled to death.
Mhm.
People are getting fucking murdered, raped. They're getting fucking. They're using shit as war. There's war crimes happening right now. This is going to be a dark moment in history when we really break down everything that's happened over the last several months. And if you really wanted to take over a country, there's got to be a point at which you have to destroy it so much to subjugate it that what is the point if what you are going to own is fucking demolished? Like if you're invading a country and you're like, yes, I want to annex you because you have natural resources and you have this and it's strategic, but if the people are so tough that they're not gonna give in, and the Ukrainian people are tough as fuck, how much are you willing to destroy that place just so you can own it? Or so I think this is kind of like where the peace ducks are at. Was like, how much do you want to fucking destroy us for us to give up? And then they're like, well, we're not giving up, and so it just becomes this weird pissing contest, obviously.
Yeah.
But overall, man, we just need to open the shit up and let people come in, let people go away from the places where they're scared to death, and
Yeah.
and this is just kind of a sad reminder that you know we're not we're not the preferred the preferred shade
I
for
know.
everybody. There's less places that are going to open their arms up to you.
Yeah, it
Uh,
is unfortunate, and it's one of those topics that just kind of like I feel icky commenting on, just because like I don't want to be the person that there's clear tragedy happening, and obviously all refugees,
right.
especially coming from war-torn countries, like everyone, matters, and so I just don't want to be the person that's like, well, Ukrainians are white, so they're getting privilege. But that being said, there is a wait list, and I think it should be followed, and not by the
They are.
color of
They
anyone's
are.
skin.
They are.
So
They are
it is
getting. They are.
unfortunate. Like Hondurans did not get a good rep when they came.
They are getting privilege.
Haitians did not as well. Could not catch a
Haitians,
break.
Syrians, Hondurans,
Syrians,
Guatemalans,
Hondurans, and
Mexicans.
now Ukrainians, and we're seeing a clear imbalance in favoritism based just on color. Pretty much, it's like, oh,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Now you could
So
say that this war is worse, or that no. I mean, Syrian refugees. I mean,
yeah,
Palestine, Syrian, fucking Honduras.
yeah,
We're brown people. There's all kinds of brown people from fucking horrible war torn places that are trying to go. Polish people just are more comfortable opening up their borders to other white people,
yeah,
and then this is happening. So,
yeah,
yeah, do better, the world.
yeah. Exactly. Do better.
Um,
We all just get along.
Today's reminder that we don't deserve dogs. Missing hiker's body found in L.A. park with dog by his side. Apparently, this guy died in the park, and he was reported missing, and he was found like a week or two later, and his dog didn't leave his side the whole time.
Oh,
The dog was with him. Just his dog King was alive but emaciated. So
what does that
that's
mean? What
just
does emaciated mean?
like sucked up, like hadn't eaten or drinking. It was just
Oh,
probably just starving because he didn't want
why do
to.
you do this to me? Why? I didn't need this information. You just
Uh,
ruined my day.
dogs are loyal. What do you want me to tell you? Dogs are fucking loyal.
Oh, I'm gonna cry. What the fuck?
Sorry.
Fuck
Today's story
you,
that
man.
sorry. All right, never mind. Um Daytona Beach stabbing suspect identified by Johnny Rockets waitress. He tipped only $1. Which leads to the question: um, should you um, should you tip more if you're going to go commit crimes afterwards?
Yeah. I mean, everyone should just tip more than $1. That's for
Where
sure.
do you where do you, I remember when I had to teach our friend how to tip.
Have they learned? Because
They've
this was
learned how
so.
to tip, but literally, I remember, and like it was
Yeah.
yesterday. They had like how much is this? How much is that? And then they did the math, and the math came out to like the exact amount of money that he had. And he's like, how much are shots? $2, and how much is this? $4, and he had like $20. Oh, you ordered
Yeah.
$20 exactly worth of drinks. And
Oh
then I was
no.
just like, I put out a $5 bill and I put it on top of the fucking on top of his 20, and he looked at me, and the bartender grabbed my hand and she's like, "Thank you." And then
Oh,
she made me like the strongest drink ever.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you have to, if you can't afford at least $1 per drink, you shouldn't be going out. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's what it is. It's and now that might be going up to $2 with inflation these days. I don't know, but a dollar drink is kind of standard if you're going out.
Mhm.
Or do you do the same amount regardless, or do you do a range based on service when you're going out to eat? Or
Oh, for sure, based on service. I have no guilt, no remorse, not tipping if the person was a shit person. Um,
not tipping at all?
Not at all. If they were shit, like the service has to be really. So listen, for the most part, yes, I tip. I try to tip the 20%. Like, yeah. But if the fucking service was trash, or they were rude, or they were offensive, no, I'm not gonna fucking tip you. Fuck you.
At all?
I've
You
had
go zero.
no.
You go zero tip.
I go zero. I wish I could go fucking negative. I've had some rude ass fucking servers, man. And I'm just like, fuck you.
In those areas, and it's only happened rarely, but I tend to overtip in those areas, kind of like a fuck you. Like
What?
I'm above you. I'm giving you
You're
I'm
gonna
giving you
reward bad behavior? No.
no. I just feel like that's the move because then they can't say you're a cheap ass bitch. I was right to fucking that way they can that way it stays with them. I was a fucking douchebag. These motherfuckers still tip me 20%, and now I feel like a dumbass because
Mm,
you know what I mean. Like at some they might be this
yeah.
motherfucker's not gonna tip me. Like the same
Yeah.
way if somebody like like I had a friend that was black tell me he's like I overtip because I'm black because I don't like the stereotype
Of course.
of saying this waitress just comes in assumes that I'm not going to give her a big tip so she's going to give me less of a service.
Hmm.
So I'm overtip and just lay the found. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you have like so what's the most you'll go?
The most what? What do you mean?
20% is your cap?
No, I'll go higher. Like if it was really good service, I'll fucking go high. Yeah. It's service based. If this person like really fucking treated me like a queen, like, oh yeah, we'll give you all my money. Take it all.
Okay.
I
Or
don't
if
go
they're
by some percentage. It just depends what I'm buying, and then I'll just fucking like, yeah.
round up, be
Round,
like,
yeah.
yeah. Is
I'll just
that
be
what is
like,
that?
I
Yeah.
don't know. It depends. It depends where I'm going, what I'm doing.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
that's interesting. How do you feel? Because here's one area where I don't mind not tipping as much
Okay.
is on Uber or DoorDash or like Uber Eats.
Yeah, those services, I don't know. I don't know that why. Yeah, same. Feel weird tipping there.
Because I feel like I still tip, but I don't tip what
They
they
also force you, so yeah.
yeah, like you have to literally say $0 because I'm a cheap fuck, and if you want to edit it, but I don't like the fact that they take 33% of like a third of the restaurant's money.
Yeah.
Then they take a third of what the cost of the food is. They always give you the highest prices.
Hmm.
Then they charge you. Then even if you have a premium account, you still have like there's like oh you get a pass, but so you don't get charged the 99-cent delivery fee, but they charge you a $6 service fee or
Hmm.
$4 service and charge, and then a $2 driver benefit charge, and then a tax surplus charge that they
Hmm.
have sometimes like an extra 45 cents. So even if you're not paying for delivery and you're buying something that's $12, you're still paying $20 for it. And then on top of that, they're like, so that needs to be built into your model into what your drivers make.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
that's so that should give the driver their base pay. If the base pay for that job is $15 an hour, within that they should be making 15. I do not respect the company if they're factoring in my tip as another because it turns into like look food app is like look if I can order from anywhere that's around me and it costs me $5 to get it delivered, yeah, but when it's costing you double,
Hmm.
I don't have a car, so for me it's like but as soon as I'm able to just drive to places, I'm deleting I would never use them again,
Yeah.
like that's how much I hate that. So I don't mind. I'll still tip a couple of bucks or round up to an even number,
Hmm.
like $2-3 or whatever. Or if it's raining, if it's two in the morning, those types of times, yeah, I'm tipping. I'll tip big,
Hmm.
because if I get home and I'm hungry and you're fucking saving my life, then yeah, I'll tip more. Or if it's windy or fucking raining out
Yeah.
for sure. But if it's for you to bring me something that's 2 blocks away and the app is supposed to pay you, I don't really feel like I don't know. I don't know if that makes me cheap or not, but
No, I don't think so. I think those services are a little like I don't know why we need to, but then again, I don't use them much, so I just kind of get angry with the very few times that I have to use them. I'm just like, oh damn. But yeah, I don't really use Uber. I mean, I drive, so I don't use it much, and then
yeah,
I don't eat out a lot, so
really.
oh, yeah, no, I've tried. Yeah, my cholesterol is high, man. I've been trying to cook, eating a lot of salmon,
A lot of salmon.
a lot of salmon.
There's a lesbian joke in there that I'm not touching. So
Thank you for that.
thank you. So is that why your breath stank like fish? No, I'm sorry.
You
No,
know
that was
why?
that
That
wasn't
wasn't
the
it.
that wasn't the, it wasn't the
It
salmon.
wasn't the salmon.
No. So yeah, no, that's an interesting thing about the tipping though.
Mhm.
But if it's like just restaurant service, yeah, like I don't
Yeah.
I don't and then the people that are like feel the need. I'm like, it's service. I understand. I've been a waiter, so I understand it as well. So
Mhm.
I've served. I remember. I still remember. I mean, I still remember this literally 30 years later, or like 25 years later. That I waited on a table of like 15 people. They had like a $200 bill. It was like right before we closed, and
Mhm.
they literally left me like 25 cents as a tip, or like less than a dollar, like 75 cents as a tip. Yeah.
No.
For a table of like 17, there was two times it happened to me. One time it was, I think they were gypsies, and then the other time it was some French tourist, and they were just like they tipped me like a
Oh,
dollar 50.
all right. I'll
Yeah,
forgive that.
yeah.
I'll forgive
But
that
then the
one.
other one there was just some another family,
Yeah.
and they just so I understand that. So I get it from that point of view. You know,
Same,
I
same.
I just look. I
Waitressing,
do.
catering, I did it all. Yeah.
The easiest way is just like it's like, oh, it's $22. I'm like, what's 10% of that? 220, 420, 440. Okay, $5. That's usually how I do it. You
Mhm.
know, like I always just do 20% and then round up to like the next relevant number.
Yeah, yeah,
For you know, and I'm like, hey, and I don't want to like just be like, hey, I'm a baller, but I understand people put in work.
yeah. Yeah,
There's
exactly.
there's rules to this shit.
Sadly, I
Uh,
mean, I did enjoy going to Europe and not having to worry about tip. It was just like all in full. It was great. And then a lot of the places like tax was included. So like I love that. I was like, why do we do that shit? Why is there a price and then we add the tax? The fuck? And then you have to tip. And then it's like it's so complicated. I'm just like, can you just give me a total? Can we just pay the workers a good wage so that no one has to tip? That would be
um,
awesome. America
have you?
sucks. I hate it here.
Another thing that happened recently is Amazon warehouse unionized as well as the first Starbucks. So
Mhm.
your girl AOC was out there getting dissed. Um, they said she don't have nothing to do with this. But so hopefully, if there's a strengthening of unions, then hopefully that'll improve because it feels like we've been fighting for $15 minimums for so long that
Yeah.
$15 an hour is literally not relevant
It's
anymore.
not relevant. I went to a Fight for 15 protest in 2015,
Yeah, 7 years ago.
7 years ago. Yeah. So
So
the fact that 7 years later it's still 15, and when inflation has like, obviously increased, it's like kind of like, eh, all right, we should be doing Fight for 25 now. I don't know.
fight for 25.
Fight for 25.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take 20, but
Yeah, let's do
like
20.
do it right away. And student debt. So apparently
Ah,
the top
I'm not paying my debt right now. Just
right, it's
crossing
still
my
on pause,
fingers.
right?
Um, I don't know because I no my show was private, so I feel like the rules don't apply to me. I think that's only if you went to public school.
Uh
I have to pay it back, I'm pretty sure. But if magic happens and we get loan forgiveness, I think that'll be for everyone, right? That's nice.
no, what I'm hearing is that the blowback would be so harsh, like pre this year's election, that they definitely can't restart the payments before the election because that would be a huge loss, right? But if he also does debt forgiveness, does he do it right now to help in 2022, or does he do it in 2023 to help for 2024?
Closer to the election.
You know what I mean?
Pro-
So
Probably the latter.
probably,
Yeah.
but in my opinion, I think he needs to realize, Uncle Joe needs to realize that he's probably I don't think he can win in 2024. I don't think he could win in 2024. I think
Yeah.
I like a lot of things that he's actually doing. I hate a lot of things he's doing, but he's more competent. He's better than the last guy. That's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that's what was that? That was like it's like when your uncle comes to Thanksgiving that stuck his dick in Crazy Hill's life and was like bankrupt and crazy women and was gotten locked
Yeah.
up and stuff, and he shows up with like a homely librarian, and you're like, hey, that's good. You settle down. That's
Yeah.
a good thing for him. He's like with just like, or maybe she's a crazy aunt. She shows up with a little chubby guy with a decent job, and you're like, okay, Tia, you're taking it easy now. I understand. That's what
Yeah.
Joe Biden is. We were We were on the crazy train,
Hmm.
and now it's a little stable. It's not perfect.
Yeah,
It's not perfect, but
he's
um,
he's there. Yeah,
he's there.
he's there.
I think
He's still breathing.
does he
Last I
know he's
heard.
there?
I
Does he
don't.
know?
Sometimes debatable. Comes and goes.
He has his moments, man. He
Yeah.
has his moments where I'm like, okay, that's kind of presidential.
Yeah.
Like it's I don't know, like it's a steady hand. I don't know what to say, but I
You know
do
the
not.
way. Yeah, our standards are pretty low, so I think it's pretty. It's good. Yeah.
We were dating the crazy chick for a while, and it was like you
We
didn't know what
got.
was gonna happen, man. Dating a crazy woman is like that. You don't know what the fuck's gonna happen from one second
Yeah.
to the next. Like literally dating a crazy person is a difficult thing
Well, you
because
have a lot of experience there, so.
yeah, you wake. I mean, I've woken up with knives to my neck. I've woken up. I've gotten punched in the middle of the night. You know, I had a I have
Mm.
one
Pero ahí
girl.
andas. ¿Te gusta la
She
mala vida?
she swung a beer bottle at my face while we were watching The Sopranos because there was they were at a strip club and there were some titties on the screen and I'm watching TV and out of the corner of my eye she had grabbed a beer bottle and she swung it at my face and I went like this and I caught it and that was insane.
Yikes! Why do you do the thing? Like, I would love to feel pity, but man, you keep dating crazy. Well, not anymore, but that was
That was no, yeah,
back in
that's
the
what I'm saying.
day.
This is
Yeah,
like I said, that was literally
back in the day, you just
like
kept going.
like almost 20 like 17 years ago, like 16 years ago. So that
Yeah,
was like I was like early 30s Lou, still a lot of energy, young bull out to
yeah,
conquer the but that was like no, now I don't have the energy for that. I do not
yeah,
have the that's what I'm
no,
saying.
yeah.
But yeah, so I understand how that goes. Anything else that you have on your mind, Miss Sophia?
Uh, I wanted to touch a little bit on the how we talked about the toxic femininity term.
Yes.
I've been pondering. I've been thinking. Um, and I don't know. Something about it comes off as very all lives mattery. At least in the context that you used it, because like I'm assuming it's supposed to be a parallel to toxic masculinity. The thing is, toxic masculinity, like the actual term, it's not talking about like. I think with toxic femininity, you used it very broadly for women, which I think what you're trying to say was toxic females, just toxic females as a whole. Because masculinity is an actual concept that, like, boys are bred into, and there's a certain definition to masculinity, the definition for femininity. So for it to be toxic femininity, I would say that it would be to define, let's say, women who are shaming other women for not being feminine enough. I would say that that would be toxic femininity, and then you would have to get like the actual like, well, how does that work? But you were using it in the context of just toxic females hurting men, which I don't know that femininity is to blame for that. I would just say that that would be just a toxic
So if
female.
I were to say, I know somebody who's in a abusive relationship
Hmm.
with a male that's being abusive to her.
A male. Okay.
Would that just be an abusive relationship and not qualified as a toxic relationship?
So yes, so that's what I mean. So let's say the man is abusive towards the female. I wouldn't blame toxic masculinity. I would just say that the man is abusive and it's an abusive relationship. Toxic masculinity itself. Now, if you told me the context and you said that this
Right.
man grew up in society to think that men are men and he yelled, "I'm a man," and then he hit her, then we can have an argument for, I think that has to do with toxic masculinity, why he did that. You know what I mean? So
So toxic
for
masculinity would be a part of that equation, but it wouldn't be
yeah, it's
the
a
overriding
yeah, it's more
factor.
so, yeah, it's a concept. It's not so much like you are abusive or you're mean, so therefore you're toxically masculine. Like, no, no, no. It's just that's not what the term means.
Toxic is the catch-all for
Yeah,
anything
so I think
right
you
now.
meant I think what you meant was just toxic females, which I mean, yeah, they exist and toxic men exist. But then toxic masculinity is a concept as a whole, which gets into masculinity and how men are raised and stuff like that. And it gets really deep psychologically. So then toxic femininity, if we are going to coined that term, what would be the definition? And I kept racking my brain like, I don't know, women that shame you if you don't wear a dress. Kind of like the best that we can say for toxic femininity would probably be those traditional wives that shame women that like aren't in the kitchen all the time. That
With
would probably
turfs?
be. Yeah, yeah, maybe. Like it would be more in the turf area than it would be the way that you used it, which was more of
Okay.
an abusive relationship or something like that. That was
I,
just what
st-
I was just pondering. I was like,
I
I've never
stand
heard that
corrected.
term. No, no,
No,
I
no,
yeah.
right. But I think maybe what I was referring to is that with Amber Heard and Jada, it was um, examples of toxic females, I guess,
Yeah,
toxic
toxic
women
females or maybe
or
also
abusive women.
feminists. No, it wouldn't be feminist. But yeah, abusive females. Yeah,
Definitely
for sure.
abusive females, or just examples of something that is completely happens a lot more than you realize,
Yeah.
which are abusive females. And I'm assuming that there's also abusive females in women relationship as well.
Oh my God, yes, we do not want. Yeah, that's why I'm like, I totally, when it comes to like feminism and stuff like that, like, I love men. I have a brother. I love my father. Like, so I get really defensive when people go a little extreme with feminism and say that like men can be abused or something. Like, no, obviously, like there are some abusive ass fucking women in this planet, manipulative and all of that.
Right.
So that, yeah, definitely never want to discount that. Yeah.
Um, no, yeah, absolutely. And I said a million times before that I come from I was bred into toxic masculinity in
Yeah.
terms of, being, el príncipe and the king, and I had a lot of, my upbringing was about how men were in charge, and this is how you treat your woman, and they're supposed to be this and that and that, and thankfully for myself, or
Hmm.
else I never would have gotten laid. I did fight against I did unlearn most of that.
Yes. Yeah.
So I so I think, so as some yeah, I said I had a very machista attitude about women, about
Yeah.
the jobs they couldn't do, et cetera, et cetera. Obviously, I'm a smart guy, so once I understood the concepts, it sort of was easy for me to shed that personality trait. But yeah, I think it's more examples like you said, not of, like I said, if what you're saying is toxic femininity is not necessarily a thing, then it does make sense to me that it's more examples of just abusive relationships that are more common than you would think, between where women are the ones that are being abusive.
Yeah. Abusive
Uh,
females, abusive women.
abusive women. So, like I said,
Yeah.
I've been with crazy chicks and abusive women like that in the past, and it is
Yeah.
not fun. It
Mm.
is not fun. Like, I literally had to plan a breakup. I was like, this bitch is crazy, and I need to
Probably
figure out a.
you feared your exit.
I absolutely feared my exit, because these are
Hmm.
the types of women that will, send you threats and say this, and they'll, you tell them stuff about yourself, and like, because you feel you were somebody you trust, and then the woman I had the worst is she was a borderline personality, so she was like
Mm.
the kind that would want to try to put you at odd with your friends, isolate you, and then counteract that with intense periods of like worship and love and affection and all
Ooh.
this stuff, and then at the same time trying to get you to separate you from your family, and stuff like that. So I literally had to learn about the disease. It was a very
Yeah.
Lou way of getting out of it. I had to find out what she was diagnosed with. I had to do a little digging and be like, oh, what is it that they diagnosed you with, and blah blah blah.
Hmm.
And I had to read about it, and then I basically played therapist for like 9 months as she used me for sex, and then sort of had to encourage her to enter her next relationship for the next guy.
Oh my
Like,
God.
I literally, by the second part of my breakup plan, we were like actively like, I was actually like treating her almost, because I was like, all
Oh
right,
my God.
we're
Trying to.
gonna this is gonna happen. We're not gonna work out, okay? And by the end, she was like, yeah, okay, right, But she was like, but I'm still crazy. I'll still kill you. I'll kill your whole family.
You're like, oh my God. I love how you just send her to the next man. Just like, here you go.
Oh, I think
Just.
she's yeah, 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 yeah,
Oh
yeah. No,
no.
no, no, no.
Okay. Never again.
She started dating somebody long distance, I guess, at the end, while I was still sort of in the picture. And then
Yeah.
the last time I ever saw her in person, she was going to go pick him up at the airport because he was
Hmm.
coming to visit, and she came over and banged me right before she went to go
Oh
pick him
my
up at the airport.
God.
And that was the last time I ever saw her. And then
Well,
I was
good.
like, That was it. That was it. That was it. Anyway,
Went out with a bang.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
that was it. That was the best. That was the oh god. I
Let's-
extricated.
Oh my gosh.
Extricated. Anyway, um,
Abusive people.
abusive
Anyway.
people. Anyway, that's bad.
No sean tóxicos.
The last
Sorry.
thing that I wanted to the last thing that I had here.
Okay.
One, two things. I just thought this would be cool to show you. This is from the early days of the internet,
Okay.
and this is like literally like early 90s or mid to late 90s, and this is something that I used to play, and it's called the Guess the Dictator sitcom character game.
Okay.
So this was like literally old school. So basically this thing was just early internet, and you would literally just pick a dictator or a sitcom character. Now this was the 90s, so there were considerably less sitcoms to choose from, you know, so it was easier. Now there's like 8 billion sitcoms.
Yeah.
But it would pretty easily ask you questions, and then you would see, and it would tell you pretty accurately. So like if you were if you were to pick like a dictator, like pick a dictator.
Okay. I mean Hitler. That's Mussolini. I don't know.
Mussolini.
That's a
Okay.
Hitler.
Mussolini. Hitler's
Mussolini.
a
Yeah,
Mussolini.
he's up.
Okay, Mussolini. All right. So, are you a female, Mussolini?
No.
Okay. Are you overweight?
Yeah, right?
He's a
Yes.
little chubby. A little chubby.
Yeah, chubby. Yeah.
Is watching TV your favorite activity?
No. Did they have they did have TVs, but
Are you a
no.
child? Well,
No.
you spend most of your time at a bar.
I didn't know him like that. I don't know.
Well, no, because it's trying to figure out if you're a sitcom character, so it's probably thinking about
Oh.
Cheers. So no, right? Do you wear a
No.
blue shirt? No, I don't know.
No.
Do you like to say your own name?
Yeah. No.
No?
I don't know. No.
Is your wife overweight? I don't think so.
No.
Do you live in prehistoric times?
No.
No. Do
The
you like to eat
Flintstones.
cat? Do you like to eat cats? Are you Alf? So like for
Yeah.
me, for
Yeah.
me at this point, if I had been saying Alf, I would be like, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Do I have a large population? No. Do you come from another planet? Yes.
Yes.
Can you watch Gilligan's Island? Yes, I can watch it.
Wait, why did
I
you
guess
put yes to coming from another planet?
because he's Alf.
Oh, I thought we were going with Mussolini. What do you mean?
Oh no, what I was trying to say is that like if you were let's say you were Alf at that point,
Oh, gotcha.
that's where it would get me. So I killed a lot of time back in the 90s playing this
I love
because it would you know you have won this time, human. I was unable to guess you, so
Yeah.
so it's just funny that this is like the original from back in the day.
I love it. I want to play it. Guess the dictator sitcom character.
Like if you
But but we won. It didn't guess
like
us.
let's say if it'll find like Marge Simpson, right?
Okay, Marge Simpson.
Yeah. Yes. Are you close with your brother? She doesn't have any brothers.
No.
Do you live alone? No.
No.
Do you have very bushy hair?
Yes. Shit.
Is your voice funny?
Yes. How did they find out?
Oh wait, is your husband a shoe salesman? No, we just talked about that. Married with
No.
children.
Peg.
Do you have blue hair?
Yes.
Yes.
Darn.
Do you have a sister? 2 of them.
Yes.
Do you have 3 children? Yes.
Yes.
Do you live in Raytown? No. Are
No?
you dead? No.
No.
I guess that you are Marge Simpson from The Simpsons, am I right?
Ah, that's cool. I thought we were going for Peggy too. That's cool.
That's right. So
Hey, what
anyway,
about the nanny? Let's do the
Then-
nanny.
you want to do the nanny? All right,
Yeah,
let's
let's do the
do it.
nanny.
All right. Are you a female?
Yes.
Are you close with your brother?
No.
All right. Do you live alone?
No.
Do you have very bushy hair? Not really, right?
No. Let's say no.
I wouldn't say very bushy hair.
No, I wouldn't say very bushy.
Are you a
Are you a
doctor?
No.
Do you have a nervous, bumbling sister? No.
Does she? No.
Are you married to a much older man?
No.
Do you look after 6 kids?
Yes. Wait,
that-
was it
is-
6?
No, wait. I think
was
no.
1,
I think it was like
2,
3.
Yeah, I was like 3. Yeah, so I'll say no.
No, because I think this is Alice from the Brady Bunch.
Ah, okay, yeah. So no.
Do you live in New York in the 50s? No.
Not in the 50s.
Are you a maid? No.
Yes. Kinda,
Wait,
no?
she's a nanny.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, you're right. No, you're right. She doesn't clean. You're right.
Are you married to a doctor? No.
No.
Do you work in a gas station? No.
No. They don't
Are,
know.
are you married, living with your parents? No.
No.
Are you widowed with a son? No. Do you live with a fat dad? No.
No.
Do you hairstyle? Did your hairstyle try to turn in the 90s? That's the
E-
Rachel.
yes. No kidding. No.
Do you have red hair?
No.
Did two doctors play your husband? Did two actors
Two
play your husband?
actors, player, husband. No.
Does your husband work for a TV show? No.
No.
Are you best friends with your mother? No.
Yeah, kinda.
Oh,
No.
no? With her mother?
I feel like she kind of is. They're close, right? Or no?
Yeah, it's you. You know it better than I do.
I don't
Yeah?
know. I don't know. I might fuck up. Just say no. It's fine.
Say no? All right.
Yeah.
Do you have
Yeah.
an angry fat child?
No.
No. Did you constantly change your hairstyle?
Yes. Right? Yeah, she did.
Have you ever danced in the burning remains of London?
No.
Is your father a doctor?
I actually don't know, but I don't think so.
Are you a friend of a pop star? No.
No.
Do you work for the government? No.
No.
Do you love to design your own clothes?
Yes, she does.
Do you have a dog?
No.
Are you a fashion designer?
No.
Do you have a handsome gardener?
Uh, no.
Is your best friend a guy?
No.
Do you get into frequent cat fights?
No.
Can you do magic?
No. God, it doesn't know.
Do you fart a lot?
No, she's a nanny.
Is your ex best friend Heidi?
The fuck? I actually don't know. No.
Does your adult
Just-
daughter? Do you live on a desert island? Do you go to a boarding school? No.
No.
Do you dress weird? No. She dresses-
Yes. Oh no. Okay. She
Yes?
stands out. She always stands out like a sore thumb.
Are you I'm a Murph? No. I guess that you're a Lady Gaga from The Singer. What?
Okay.
All right, never mind. Small time. You didn't get it this
Didn't
time.
get it. All right.
They didn't get it. We have bested the machine.
Yes, twice.
Sorry about that.
I
Let me
love
just
it.
take
I
this.
love it.
Anyway, just wanted to share that with you. All right.
Aw.
So one other thing that I noted was if we're talking about terminology, etc. Was
Mhm.
did you know that there was that apparently we are not supposed to use imposter syndrome as a
I
phrase?
I did not know that.
Okay.
Why?
So
Why
what?
is that? Elaborate.
So I don't know, it was a thread or something that I found on Twitter, and basically it was explaining that a lot of people these days are using the phrase imposter syndrome, and it's mostly used by minorities, people of color, etc., when they feel that they're in a new space, or they don't feel like they belong, or they're in their new job, etc. Everybody's using that. It's kind of in the conversation, right? I feel an imposter syndrome because I'm getting paid too much, or blah blah and stuff
You're
like that.
overqualified, but you don't feel like you deserve to be there or you are qualified enough. Yeah.
Exactly. You don't deserve your success.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, that was a term that was created by a white lady to sort of specifically, and I think it was somebody in your field, basically to specifically um, talk about women of color or minorities and how they felt inside of like a work environment and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the thought process is it's not a real thing. You know what I mean? Like it's what they're calling your experience
Mm-hmm.
is basically the thing. Like there's no such thing as imposter syndrome.
Gotcha.
You're just feeling out of sorts because you, as a minority and as somebody that's not universally like expected to be here, are here. So you know have to
Yeah.
prove yourself. You have to feel like you can't make any mistakes. You know what I mean.
Okay.
So you're going through the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
The white lady overseeing it is like, oh, look at her. She has imposter syndrome. She doesn't
No.
believe she doesn't believe she belongs here, and she doesn't.
Gotcha.
Does that make it?
Yeah. So what you're saying is it's not an actual like diagnosable disorder in the DSM-5. It is just a term that somebody
Yeah, it's a
came
term
up
that was
with.
created to basically turn what minorities' experiences are in those situations
Yeah.
into like a
Into
thing,
words, into term. Okay.
into a term, so that
And
other,
are people butthurt about the fact that it was a white lady that came up with something?
no, I it was, like I go down these rabbit holes, and I think really the Twitter thread was essentially like, while we're on the subject of this, let's also talk about the phrase imposter syndrome and why that's problematic, blah blah blah. You know what I
Okay.
mean? It was one of those things.
Okay.
Um, so I just kind of like, and I just looked into it, and I read some stuff, eh, and then I just kind of thought, okay, this is a thing now. And then people were like, oh, I guess I didn't really think about it that way. And then I started thinking, I was like, oh, okay, I guess. Not that I really used it a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I use it a lot. Yeah. So me and my friends, yeah, people I mean, I have a master's now, so it's kind of like I have imposter syndrome. I'd never feel like I'm good enough for anything. I'm like, what the fuck? Who gave me this paper? Who allowed this to occur? Yeah.
by the way, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Very, very extremely proud of you for doing that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
my smart, learned friend here.
Yes.
Did you already frame it and put it up?
No, yeah, I have to look into the frame. I have my undergrad one. It's super pretty, so I have to frame it. Gotta buy the frame though, and that's expensive.
Mm, yeah,
Hmm.
you gotta do it. You gotta do it.
You
So you,
gotta.
so you gotta rise above. Um,
Mhm.
all right.
You're so dumb.
How
All
did you,
right.
did you go to Coachella? No.
No,
Are
not
we too?
ever. It's still happening, isn't it?
It's
Everyone's
happening
there
again.
right now.
It's happening again. Old Cella. You can watch it on YouTube. Why the
Yeah.
fuck would I go?
Exactly. I like, did you know Shania Twain and Harry Styles just performed together? I feel like a woman. Amazing. I saw it from
Mm.
the comfort of my own couch.
Yeah, like why would I? If everybody that's there is going to just sit there and watch the concert through their phone screen,
Yeah.
even though you're right there, and then there's a wide angle, then why do I have to go?
Yeah.
When I can
Yeah.
just sit there, see you with your phone there in the front screen going like this,
There you
and
go.
then I'll enjoy the concert
I
without.
Yeah, I will say the thing is, you're old, man, because music festivals are a young kid's fucking game. I did Baja Beach Fest, and they decided to do 3 days this year or last year. Um, my body just fucking shut down. I can't do that for 3 days. It's a lot.
Mhm.
I don't know.
I'm you're old,
You're
man. Oh
old.
well, fucking
I'm
damn,
old. We're all fucking
damn. Just,
old. Happy
just,
birthday.
just letting the bullets fly.
Happy birthday.
It's because you're old, man. You can't
Because
be
you're
going.
old. You
Either,
forgot the joys of music festivals.
nobody wants you. Nobody wants you at Coachella, Lou. You weren't invited.
I didn't say
So
that. You could have They would have happily taken your
nobody,
money.
nobody misses you at Coachella. No, I felt like anything I saw from there was just a bunch of people just creating content and
It's
just sitting there.
yeah, it's a headache, music festivals. They're fun. They're fun and they're a good experience, but you got to have a lot of stamina and I don't think I even have it in me anymore.
I didn't like music festivals when I still went to. Yeah, I don't. I'm not. I've never
Yeah,
been.
it depends. It's like it's not everyone's thing. It's stressful, it's hot, you're there, it's
I
crowded.
I like a concert because you can go home afterwards.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
You don't got to go fucking sit in a tent or fucking sleep in your car or
Mhm.
whatever the fuck people do. Get a
Yeah.
cheap hotel, I guess.
People that did Coachella for 1 day, I feel like that's smart.
Coachella? Yeah, no, I would
You should do a
definitely.
1 day pass.
I would only do like super VIP Coachella or Old Cella, whatever they call.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be
Yes.
the only. That would be the only way. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
I did Hard Summer for 1 day and we got VIP and we looked over at General and my friend and I who like early 30s, we were like, yeah, we can't do that. Like we can't like we're not 19 anymore. We can't fucking do that. Just be in the sun in this fucking desert, crowded. There's no
there's
water
no
for
way.
a mile,
There's no reason.
bathrooms.
There's no reason.
Yeah,
There's no
well,
reason to do that. Well, anyway, so we've caught up.
yeah.
Basically, this is what's been happening. The Patreon is live. Check that out. If you want to contribute to us for our monthly, this will all be money that goes to projects, to our podcast, graphics, music, all kinds of good stuff.
Mhm.
Or if you want to make a one-time donation, you had a good time watching the show, all of them can come through Big Chief Burrito at
Nice.
or had the money sign Big Chief Burrito, and we'll get that and use that for the show as well. New movies, starting that process. The main thing I'm going to be doing on Patreon is keeping people. I'm going to be doing a weekly director's blog through there. Just kind of taking people through like the step by steps of making a movie, which is something that I've always wanted to do, a director's vlog sort of thing.
Mhm.
And many more things that me and Sofia will be continuing to do more Mi Gente stuff on a weekly
Mhm.
basis. And, we'll take it from there. I will see you
Yeah.
tomorrow
Yeah, we will tomorrow for your birthday.
for a beer or two.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. I've already started getting the birthday wishes from everybody checking
Yeah.
in.
Oh,
So
it is
thank you.
almost 12.
It
Nice.
is almost
One
12.
more
Oh,
hour.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I was born on more East Coast hours, so I think
So it's
officially,
already that makes
yeah, my
sense.
moon cycle has happened. My Earth
Yeah.
cycle. Oh,
Yeah.
moon fall. Just saw that. What the fuck? Did you see that?
No.
Watch Moonfall, and then we'll talk about it. But
Okay.
it's a train wreck of a
Ace
fucking
Ventura,
yeah.
Truman
What
Show, and
Truman Show.
Moonfall.
Ace
I'll just
Ventura, definitely. Yeah, watch Ace Ventura if you haven't seen
I've
that.
been wanting to watch a Truman Show too, though, so I think I'm just gonna binge watch all of them.
You have a
So
Jim Carrey day. We will
yeah.
see you guys next week. I will see you
Hasta
guys when I see
luego.
you. Everybody else, peace out.
Bye.